feel emotions.
What's going on there, YouTube?
What about there, my peoples?
This is SEL0320.
Yep, y'all know what it is. It's JBS.
Yeah, and so we're back for a brand new spoiler TV show review for the show Arrow. The name of this episode is Beyond Redemption. This is spoilers filled, so you've not seen the episode. You need to not look at this. Just wait. We're gonna have like a first reaction video. It's gonna be really short. It'll be to the point. We'll give also our number for it. So let's go ahead and get into this. What do we think about this episode? I really liked it. I thought it was really deep. So
Yeah.
the first thing is that Lance is exposed in a deeper way. Like, he had a task force that was strategically made to disable vigilantes. Not just disable, but actually to kill them, to be quite honest.
Basically.
And on top of that, he finds that Laurel has awakened his child that has been dead for I don't know how long. And like that mentally and emotionally messes him up. He gets so desperate, he goes to Damien Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Damien Dark is evil. He's pure evil. We find out that he's a part of the League of Shadows, which is crazy. But not just that, he said that if that was my daughter, I would put her out of her misery because that's not really her. And like that battle, mentally and emotionally, the way that it's projected throughout the episode, I love it. Because like, I feel like his downfall emotionally laid weight on everybody. Like on Oliver, on Laurel, with the whole Sara situation. And not just that, even like this task force, because the task force took down the group pretty easily. Like, I mean, at first glance, they all got compromised pretty bad. Because they thought they could set them up, had a shipment of heroin in a van, and they lost. Like, they lost straight up to a task force, you know? And like, this girl, like, she's from, what was the name of that show? True Blood. She was doing her thing.
She wasn't from True Blood.
She was doing her thing.
Yeah.
Like, she did a really good job as far as, I'd like to see her again. Like,
Yeah,
she's actually really deadly, really strategic, and at the same time really civilized. At the same time, it's really strange. She's morally corrupt on levels because of situations, but she believes in the judicial system. She believes in what's right and what's wrong. But yeah, the whole thing with Lance, I love the fact that the situation that happened with Oliver. Did you want to go into that or talk about kind of what happened with that situation?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, Felicity, she was there on the computer, which actually have a new layer now. So it's actually there.
That layer is freaking tight.
Decked out, y'all. But yeah, Felicity, she's there at the computer, going over some like the city's footage of all the surveillance cameras, trying to find out, you know, who murdered those cops. And so what happens is that Lance, he meets up with Damien Dark a couple hours before, because he wanted to get advice about what to do about his daughter being like basically brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
And she's out of it. So he was, you know, talking to him, and basically while Felicity was like going over the past surveillance footage, she actually Oliver, he was standing behind her, and Oliver was like, wait, stop. And then he was like, go back. And there you see Lance and Damien Dark you know, talking.
Yeah.
So what Oliver does at this point, he goes into Lance's house, his home, and waits for him to arrive. So Lance walks to the door, it's dark, he hits on the light switch, bam, who's there? Oliver. And he's like, he's pissed, and he's like, Damien Dark. And then you see Lance's like facial expression, he's just like, oh man, I'm busted. And like Oliver's like, now I know that you know who he is and what he does because of your expression. And based off that, man, they had a really great dialogue.
That was
acted very well.
That was probably the best. Like I feel like Joe hasn't looked at the first season, but he's seen parts of the second. You didn't watch all the first season? Not all of it.
Most of it.
Well, anyway, like since the first season to this point, it's been a build up. Like they've been close together. They've been feel like they betrayed each other. Then they've been close again, and it's like now they're at this really good crossroads. And then Oliver just gets a bomb dropped on him. He basically told him, he's like, the reason why I'm running for mayor because I wanted somebody like you, this real father figure to me, basically, to believe in me, to see the best in me. Now I'm looking at you and like, man, shoot, what am I trying to be a mayor for? Like, I can never be good because you're tainted. And I thought of you at this prospect. It was such a great dialogue. It was probably one of the best dialogues I've seen out of the whole entire thing. And I don't even know what was better because Lance came back and was like, he's about to kill Sara.
Yeah.
He was about to kill Sara, and like he broke down. He was like, "That's not my baby girl." And yeah, of course, we could tell she's messed up. Like it's probably like the ramifications of her going into the Lazarus pit after that point. Like she probably has souls of other people in her, which I'll talk about that last scene that we saw for the next week. But he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, and Oliver and him have a great compromise. I mean, it's a good choreographed fight towards the end. That was pretty epic. There was a lot that was going on, like all over the place, but it was probably one of the better episodes I've seen in this series. Anything else you want to touch on before we talk about the last thing? We talked about Laurel and her dad. Shoot, man, Laurel messed up.
Oh, yeah. One thing actually happens, I was like, really threw me off was like, Sara, she actually talked in this episode. She was like, "Who am I?"
Yeah. And
that was like, I was like, oh snap, she spoke.
Yeah.
The first time she spoke, I was like, oh wow. But yeah, that's about it.
So Damien Dark. Okay, first of all, Oliver at the end, he decides to run for mayor. He's awesome speech. But Felicity and old dude that's gonna be Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific keeps on pressing her. He's like, look, there's something going on with this code. Like I want to break, and she can't emotionally let herself to be able to do it because basically the last line of the code would show what his last words would be before he died, supposedly. And like I'm thinking to myself, like, where is this code coming from? You know, and I'm thinking all she needed to do is just put the password in. She couldn't do it throughout the whole episode. Towards the end, she finally did it. And I think it's gonna reveal where Ray really is, because I don't think he's dead. Of course he's not dead.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead.
But then it shows sequences of Laurel being mentally and emotionally vexed from the whole Sara situation because Sara got out.
Sarah's out.
And then Damien Dark has this box that I don't know what's in the box. I really don't know what's in the box, what he has. But I know it's going to be something that's going to be detrimental to the group. But the last thing that comes up, which is the next episode, like preview for it, John freaking Constantine. Like Constantine himself is, I think, going to exorcise Sara and bring her back to normalcy. But just the fact that they took the same Constantine that had his own show, brought him to this show, I'm just like, woo! He's still here. That's so freaking cool. So John Constantine is going to be on next week's episode. I can't wait. What would we give this episode as a number?
I'd give it a 9.
9 out of 10.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I think that this is probably my favorite episode this season. So I give it a 9.5. I actually really enjoyed it. We're about to go and do our first reaction, non-spoiler review real quick. But thanks everybody for watching. Leave a like below if you actually enjoyed our spoiler-free review, this brand new episode. And let us know your comments on the episode, whatever you thought about it. And we'll be doing this and then playing Halo immediately. Because we got to get y'all a review by the end of the week. Peace, y'all. Yeah, that's right, Joe. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about that.